Micro Noodle Factory is a like business concept that we come up with, and then that's the like small production of noodle, fresh noodles, that are unique, right? And then we can produce in small batches that are catered to like local, consumers' needs, right? So this is a business concept like we've been kind of like promoting over the years, and then we're kind of like wanted to share with you guys that like, and then some of the benefits that like Micro Noodle Factory business would bring to you, and then piece of equipment that, well, we developed like recently that allow you to start this micro factory business kind of with ease, right? So let's get into it. Like I'm going to talk about like benefits of micro factory, and then maybe it's going to make some noodles from scratch, right? Using these equipment. So it's good. So I want to talk about the some of the benefits that micro factory business would bring, right? And so number one is, of course, like flexibility. Use fresh noodle, like quality noodles in small batches, so that minimum batch, right? Minimum production batch, which means that like the minimum amount of well fresh noodles like we can start making, right? The small quantity of unique noodles that are catered to local needs of your local markets. So flexibility is number one, and number two, high profitability, right? Essentially, like producing fresh noodles and like selling them, like it's this like has low production cost, and with this, with our micro noodle factory business concept, like you be able to produce like fresh noodles in premium quality. So this allows us to charge high profit or high margin, right? And so low production cost, like what we are talking about is that like ingredients that are being flour, water, and salt, and kind of seeing the other ingredients, right? And then labor cost and the utility cost, right? And probably among these three, right, well, labor cost would be the highest. So we have to like come up with ways to minimize labor costs to in order to command low production costs in our what micro noodle factory business, right? So high profitability is like number two. Three is scalability. So it's easy to scale our business if we're doing like micro noodle factory. And then, so for example, like, we start, right, producing with a daily production capacity of like 500 servings, right? And then you step up to 1,000 to 2,000 and then 5,000, right? And so it's easy for us to like kind of take small steps, right, at a time to scale over time. Then our production like gets bigger and bigger, and then we can make more profit. Like profitability like would be higher. So number four, no skill labor required. Like we don't have to have like highly skilled labor to operate this business. And number five, like no large space required, right? So with our machine that like we're going to introduce, right? The Richmen Gold 2 plus the Silky mixer that we want to introduce you guys to today. There's this these piece of machines allow us to have like allow us to operate the micro noodle factory business without any highly skilled labor, and then the space that that's required to like operate this business, like it's very small. So and sample that sample flower floor plan. Well, we actually can help you guys like draw your floor plan for this kind of business. If you have like this space, and then if you guys can like send us like measurements of this space, right? We can actually help you guys draw a floor plan. That's that like render like effective operation, right? So the smallest space floor plan that we have, right, for this using these two machines, right? Richmen Gold 2 Silky mixer, it's like 7.6 square meter, and which is like about 82 square feet of the space, right? So, so these are some of the benefits the doing the micro manufacturing business I would bring to you, right? And so flexibility and high profitability and scalability, and we don't have to have like a skilled labor to operate it, and then we don't have to have like a large space like we're doing like big noodle factory or anything, right? So yeah, so these are so that bring us to the today's like weight equipment, the Richmen Gold 2 and Silky mixer, right? So we have these piece of equipment here in this room, and so first of all, like Silky mixer, this is the this is the most advanced like mixing machine that we have, right, for noodles. And one thing that you guys notice about this mixer is that like this height, right? The height, like so, um, the height of this mixer is entry point, right? Entry point of ingredients is just 86.6 centimeters, which is like about like 41 inches. So it's very low. So we if you're lifting if you're lifting like bag of flour like every day, right? And then you have to lift like so high, right? In some cases, right? And then so that's really labor intensive. Like you have to do it like every day, every time you make dough, right? And then so this is a 25 kilo big step, right? And which is like 55 pounds of the solid ingredients at the time. And then on top of it, you're adding liquid to it. So you get about like 33, 37 kilograms of dough at a time per batch, right? Then so, we want to show you guys like how it rotates, right? How the like blades rotate, and then rotation speed is up to uh, 70, 75, 75 rotational stations per minute. And so, want to show you guys that how like it rotates, right? And then you're not gonna actually make dough in this mixer like this event, right? Because in the morning we did the kind of same event and like made some dough, right, on this mixer. So um, it's the purpose of mixing is that just um, hydration, like evenly. We want to like hydrate the dough like evenly, right, with the water, liquid. So what we just well like pretend that like we have like flour in there, right, inside, and then we are gonna be adding the water, right, and then we are gonna be adding like water and this directly onto this lid, and which has like these small holes, right? Small holes, so that water is like be like dripping through these small holes, and then add it to the flour a little by little to render good hydration, like even though that water like it's like evenly distributed throughout the dough, right? So that's what we want. We want to have really well hydrated dough, evenly hydrated dough out of this mixer, right? So and then the speed, right? Speed of 75 rotations per minute. So the speed, and then this lid, right? The hydration, and then also the like this shape of the mixing body would also like render hydration of the dough, right? And then when she opens it, like the mixer stops, right? Because this is a safety feature that this mixer has, right? So we don't want to we don't want to get like my hands cold like while it's mixing, right? So that's a mixer. And then but like when she pushes these two buttons, right? The mixing blades rotate like in reverse, right? This is the function to take the dough out. So when the mixing is done, right, and then we want to take the dough out, and then the bottom opens, right, and then and then so that like bottom opens, right, bottom lid opens, and then so the reverse rotation function kind of helps the dough to come out, right, easily. But like, in order to like, activate this function, she has to push the button, like two buttons at the same time with both hands, right? So she wouldn't be able to like, get one hand like, caught in the mixer, while, you know, pushing the button to activate this um, thing, right? So that's another thing. And then when the mixing is done, right? We want to take the dough out like in these containers, right? Want to take the dough out in container, and then so you can choose because these are four separate containers, right? These are four separate containers, which is great because you don't have to like lift the whole thing up, right? Then like it's heavy, but like you can just separate dough like 25, 35 kilograms dough to like four containers, and then just do it by like so you're just like dividing it by to like four batches, or you can choose, like three separate containers, right? Like you're separating into three different separate batches, or you can choose like two. So yeah, you can and then you lift the whole thing up, right? And then you're gonna move the dough into Richmen Gold 2 machine to start processing it into dough sheet and then like noodles. So so this is the Richmen Gold machine, and it has so this okay, sorry. So yeah, so this remote it has like three phase. So both of these machines are three phase machines, right? So um, for those people like who are thinking like while using these machines, you would have to have like three phase power, right? Three phase outlets. In this room, like there's only one three-phase outlet, so like, we cannot operate this mixer and then between goal two at the same time. So, but anyway, so so this is the dough that like we made in the morning, and then this is 34% hydration dough, right? And then so the first thing we do is that like we place the dough onto this conveyor, right? Then this conveyor just carries the dough into the set of rollers to make a sheet of dough, right? Dough sheet. And so this conveyor has a like maximum load of like 8.5 kilograms flour equivalent of dough, right? So it's about like around 10 kilograms, 10 to 12, right? So and then so it's great like if you are just like using like maybe three um, the dough like that's divided like into three containers out of the 25 kilograms of batch dough, right? And then, so what she's doing right now is that like she's setting the um, roller gap, right? Initial roller gap on this touch panel, right? And then what's happening now is to that like the dough is like moving, like being fed into the roller, and so all she has to do is just like first like wind it onto the rolling pin, right? And then like rest of the process is done by the machine, right? Automatically. So the dough is being fed right into the roller, and then like you guys may able like notice that like there's a red, for instance, like light, kind of projecting to the dough, right? That's going to the roller, and this is the kind of sensor that's kind of measuring, okay, how much dough is like going to the roller, and um, because yeah, and then now like she maybe like put her hand through this um, line, right? Like you can see that line here. So this is a like curtain sensor, curtain sense like curtain light sensor. So this is the sensor that like kind of detecting like whether or not like there's like some object like passing through, right? If there's some object like passing through this sensor, then this machine stops automatically because it's kind of dangerous, right? Because there's nothing here, and then this gate, the door safety gate is open, so it's kind of well you can easily like put your hands in there and then get injured, right? So we have this sensor to protect the operators from getting injured, and then the other sensor is like measuring the how much dough is going to the roller, so that there's always like appropriate amount of dough is like being fed to the roller, and this is automatic. One, two, one, two. So this is the first process. We call it wrap forming, and we're just basically forming the dough sheet right out of the crumbled dough that's just out of the mixer, right? And it's going slow at this point, and then the machine like I'm regulating the speed. So so the wrap forming is done, right? We have some kind of like dough sheet, right? Sheet of dough, right? And then so next, like what we're going to do next is that like we are going to separate this dough into two separate sheets, right? And then we're going to combine them. We're going to like put them together, laminate them together through the rollers, right? And then to strengthen them, strengthen the dough. You want to work it and then strengthen it, like develop the gluten structure inside the dough. So we want to feed this dough right to the roller, and so to adjust it, right? To adjust it, so she just pushed this button. That's it, like combining times two. I mean 70%, right? So just by pushing this button, this machine knows what the roller gap it should be right now, right? So you don't have to. So like in the other models, like we have like a wheel indicator that indicates that like roller gap, right? And then you have to like manually set the roller gap, adjust roller gap, right? But then and then you have to do a calculation in your head. Okay, what the next roller gap should be, right? um, yeah, based on the like your current process and the current dough thickness, right? But by pushing this button, like just one button, this machine automatically adjusts the roller gap itself. So it's a great function. You know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, so just you don't have to know the you don't have to know that like the calculation, like how to calculate it or anything, but you just have to know like you need to push this button now, and so it's easy for you to like kind of put in the manual, and then the your worker like employee who just joined you or something like is very reading this manual, like he knows like how to do it. So yeah, the combine process, and then so combining process like just very just like helps develop the gluten structure inside dough, which makes the dough firm, and then create great noodle texture. And then again, like she pushed another button, that's like combining button to adjust the roll gap to the for the next round of combining process. Yeah, so it was 2 millimeter each, right? So when we are combining 2 millimeter each of the dough sheet combining, right? So like that's 2 plus 2, 4, and then we want to reduce the roller gap by 30%, right? So it's about like 3 millimeter, 4 times 0.3, and then so yeah, and then so that's the roller gap the machine is set to now, right? And notice that like so remember like the initial rough forming, like this sensor was working, right? The sensor was working, but like it's not working right now because like the dough is like going in, passing through, right? Passing through sensor. Then this is automatically done by like just closing this door gate, right? So it's automatic. It just you don't have to push any button to make it happen. So the combining process is done. So all we have to do is to just thin it, right? Thin it to the final thickness. So from this point on, we want to dust the dough, right? We want to dust the dough to keep them from sticking. And the way, so this is the automatic duster, and then like it's set in the rear of the machine. And then, so now it's like it's only dusting. And then what it's dusting is that like a conveyor belt that carries the dough. So by dusting the conveyor belt, we are automatically sort of kind of preparing the dusting condition, like in the conveyor belt that carries the dough, right? So the outer side of the dough is getting dusted by just thinning, and then again, like you push just one button, right, and then the machine just adjusts the roller gap to the appropriate roller gap in the process. So all you have to do is just like wind it into the rolling pin, and then just the machine does the rest of the process. So in a way, like yeah, you don't have to like be engaged, right? So you just you can be just like standing around, like looking at the process, but like you can be like doing other other tasks, right? So again, like we are thinning at 30% reduction rate, which means that like it's 30% thinner than the previous thickness, right? We want to reduce the thickness by 30% because if you reduce it by like 50% like more, then the damage the gluten structure of the dough. And again, like just by pushing the button, the machine is just the roller gap, right? You don't you don't have to calculate it or anything. So now it's going faster, right? It's faster. So the machine regulates the speed of the rolling, right? It's going really fast now. So if you're using the 25 kilo Silky mixer in combination with this Richmen Gold machine, right? So while the Richmen Gold machine is like rolling, like engaged in rolling process, the operator may be doing like some tasks like weighing the ingredients for the next batch, or maybe like cleaning some of the containers, like some like inside the mixer or something. Um, you know, or probably storing the noodles that are just cut, right? So it could be like doing like all kinds of like other tasks, right, while the machine is working. And so before we when you're cutting, right, cutting the noodles, what would you want to measure the actual thickness? Because actual thickness is always bigger than the roller gap, right? And then it's like 1.7 ish. So like that was like 1.4 roller gap, right? Well, 1.4 millimeter roller gap. But then but then the actual thickness is like 1.7, so like it bounced back like 0.3, right? It got bigger by 0.3. So we know that like we can expect that this dough to bounce back by zero point 0.3 when we thin it, right, this time around. So that tells us like, okay, like, what the roller gap we need to set to get to the final thickness that we want, and that's the roller gap that she set, right? So this is the kind of cutter we use, right? Or like sliter cutter, and then so this is number 20, and which is like most popular noodle size for ramen noodles, and so number 20 means like this 1.5 millimeter width. So each groove is 1.5 millimeter width. So we're going to cut, right? So yeah. So another great thing about this machine is that like again the height, right? Height of the machine, and that where like maybe it's like catching noodles, right? And then where the like the where the like the noodles are coming out is positioned is like kind of relatively high, right? So yeah, imagine that like you have this machine like in front of the your like facility, and then you may probably like want to showcase it like with a like a glass door, glass window or something, and then if your facility like facing the street, right, and then like people walking by, and then see the see like how you make noodles, right? So this machine like kind of acts as like kind of promotional tool, like attraction for your business to for business as well, right? So by kind of showing it off, like to your customers, like how you make noodles, and then noodles are coming out like literally like in front of customers, that may be exciting for your customers, and then like coming to start a business with you, right? And then I mean showing like how you make noodles, right? Kind of gives you like sense of trust, right? Authenticity, yeah. So that it's kind of help you to help you charge like premium pricing, and then it's very easy for you to adjust the sizes, noodle sizes, and then like serving sizes as well. Yeah, it's very easy for you to adjust the length, right? Length of noodles, so that you can adjust the portion size as well. Uh, it's like longer the noodles, the bigger the portion, right? So it's very easy to do it, and then you can adjust the speed of cutting as well, very easy. And so basically, you can make all kinds of fresh noodles in this machine with ease, right? And any portion size, like any kind of ingredients, that you want to use, and it's very pretty fast, right? And easy to use. So it was really fast. So that was then like I was fast. Yeah, so today like we just introduced you guys to Micro Noodle Factory like equipment that are make it possible for your Micro Noodle Factory business. And then it's very easy to do it. And then like we also like provide like all kinds of noodle recipes for your touch noodle you want to make, right? And then because we've been doing this like for almost like 47 years, and we've been exporting our products like to overseas for the past like 20 years. So we have a lot of information on like ingredients that we've tested before, and so we can kind of create like help you develop your own noodle recipe as well, like using your local ingredients too. So um, yeah, then we can help like, and then like since COVID, what we've been doing is that like we've been actually training, like providing training online, for all these customers, like we're using our noodle machines like in different countries, and then that's been working like really well. So it's very possible for us to like, well, provide like really special support like remotely as well. So then Micro Noodle Factory business, like, yeah, we've been getting a lot of inquiries from, different countries, interested in starting this kind of like business. And then some of them are actually like existing ramen shops, right? I mean, well, having sort of like factory next to the restaurant, and then, like small factory, Micro Noodle Factory. And yeah, and then like kind of like providing, supplying, some fresh noodles to local restaurants, and then even like retail, grocery retail, like supermarket. So, there's a lot of like possibilities that you can explore with this concept. So, we want to encourage you guys to like kind of think about it. And we have ebook that probably help you guys. Think about this kind of business, and like help you guys get started on this business, what to do, and by step. So yeah, it's free, and yeah, if you're interested in like go to yamato.com and look for it, and then get your copy today. So yeah, and so yeah, Richmen Gold to Silky mixer. These are the two pieces of equipment that like we developed recently, and it started shipping all over the world. So if you guys interested in like getting to know more about these pieces of equipment, please feel free to contact us for private demo. We can do private demo for you guys, um, and then like we can do like meeting over Skype or like whatever you guys prefer using. So yeah, so please feel free to contact us for more information, and then please feel free to leave any comment, like any questions, like in the comments below. So yeah, so that's it. That's what we had like for this event, and then so thank you so much for attending, and then we hope to see you guys back in the next event. So thank you so much. Bye bye.